actually saying that at the Shisanya, all of us already knew. Literally.
But Mrs. Mops didn't know.
She did.
She didn't know.
I met up with her. She knew. So everyone already knew that that's happening. And it's like secret, 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 so that it can just be news and trade.
And welcome back. This is the J Suit Lover and I am Lover. So today I'll be discussing my favorite highlights or like some highlights from the episode 6 of the Mommy Club. So the Mommy's Club had been on Showmax for the past 6 weeks and it's been an interesting one so far. However, I will be discussing a lot. I think the last season, the last episode, episode 5 was one hilarious episode that after I did watch it, I could not stop laughing, especially for Nunurai. And you know, we actually saw a very beautiful side of Nunurai. However, on this episode, Nunurai went on telling the story about what happened at the dinner after Ratile and Miss Manche left. But she failed to actually tell what she did. You know, when she was narrating to this Ratile and what's the name and Miss Manche, and when she was narrating to her friend, she never mentioned to them that she was the first person who said she was the first person that blasted them. She said Happy do not have a fan and she do not know why anybody will be a fan of Happy. You know, she also insulted Omule and said she had not been watching anything she has been doing and she do not know what she does. So why and all of that. And I guess after she said that, that was what led Omule to actually tell her that, oh, if you are saying you've not been watching anything I've been doing, it is something understandable because there is no satellite dish in Harare or Bulawayo. So it's like a tit for tat. She was the first person who did kind of do some she said something horrible, like is it very horrible? What she said was quite alting, like it's not funny, you understand? But I think the reply she got from Omule was just a comeback which she should not be pained about. Yes, that's one thing I want to say. So she went on putting the narrative that, oh, the actress Omile was saying they do not have satellite dish back in Zimbabwe, but she never made it clear to these people that she was the one who had claimed to have not seen production or whatsoever film she had been on. So that is one thing I want to discuss. However, I actually like the fact that Nunurai actually put those two persons in their place. I never saw that coming. I never saw her going that far with that conversation, but it was an interesting one to watch. So that's one thing I want to clarify. Then the next thing I'll be discussing is the Ratile and what's the name, our Majesty conversation about clout chasing. You know, I think this conversation had been going on for like the past 3 episodes, and to an extent we're not really getting clarification about it, about this and what's the name. Ratile had not actually talked what she means by Her Majesty being a clout chaser. But it's not very understandable that after Her Majesty told Ratile and Miss Manche about her engagement to this Nigerian man who was the father of her very first child, she went on to tell every other person on the group. Miss Mops knows about it. Ratile knew about it, and she keep up telling all of these people and she's like, oh, just keep it to yourself. And it's so funny that it was like that. So I think it's now very understandable to see Ratile's point of view about Her Majesty being a cloud chaser. Like she put out this information and disguised as if they were leaked by people. So that's one thing. However, why is that Ratile's pain? That is the question we need to answer. Why is Ratile so pained that Her Majesty does this? She is doing this at her own, will I say, detriment. Because Her Majesty's name is still the name that will be on the internet. It's a brand, it's a person. Like you don't get, it's not affecting Ratile in any way. So why should that be something she is so pained about? It's understandable that you see through that, okay, this is what you're doing, but why are you paying about it? I guess that's a strategy. And for me, to an extent, for showbiz or people who are into things like this. This is their strategy to stay relevant. This is their strategy to keep up with controversy. And I guess this is one thing our Majesty is doing to keep up with her fame, because she's not really an actress, she's not really a musician or something. Just the way was her name. Nunurai asked that if she did play the guitar or the violin for her to be a fan. So I guess this controversy about her being on the news and all of that is one thing Her Majesty is using to keep up her fame or to stay relevant. So it should not be a problem for Ratile. So I think these are the two things I'll be discussing, and also Miss Mops. Yes, so to an extent I see Miss Mops as that liberal mom, or probably that mom who do not have so much of problem, and I still enjoy dynamic or a relationship with her kid. We had to see her and her son have a conversation on on this episode, and also the last episode, and those conversation was quite brilliant, lovely. Like they had like a very cool relationship, and parenting skills seem to be interesting, because she's actually having the hardest conversation which a lot of parents will just want to shy away from with their children. So that's one thing. Then one thing I want to discuss again is Her Majesty and her very first child. There is this therapy session which did happen, and the child actually discussed how she was being abused by a stepfather, and also a mother being in support of all of these abuses, and how she was evicted. So it's so sad to see that this girl is having, like, she had experienced all of this. So it's just something so sad, and I hope probably she must have healed from this. So this is all I'll be discussing from the episode 6 of the Mommy Club. Bye.